You've probably heard many people say things like chase your dreams. Well, in my eyes, my experience, and what I've observed in people who actually are successful but also fulfilled, this is one of the worst pieces of advice you can actually follow, because when you chase something, the other thing has to automatically run away. So I'm going to give you a way in which you can actually really allow for your dreams, what it is you want in life to come into you, but it's different than chasing. That is an old paradigm, and yes, it'll give you some things, but it will absolutely burn you out. It'll make you overweight or unhealthy. It'll ruin some relationships along the way. So if you'd like to know the more updated, more universe supported, we'll call it, more kind of how things work supported, laws of the universe way supported, that's what we're going to be covering in this video. That's coming up next. So before we jump into it, as always, my name is Dave and this is HeartSpace, where I am creating videos every single day to help you along your heart path. Now, something that's going to be very relevant and synergistic with what we're talking about in this video is my group, The Lasting Transformation Experience. So if what I go over in this video really resonates with you and you want to learn how to actually create real, lasting, and that's the key word, lasting transformation in your life, you can apply for my free group where we dive into these topics in more depth, and that will be linked down below. Again, it's for those interested in real lasting transformation, which of course I'm going to give you the most kind of efficient process I know to do that. So if that's something you're interested in, you can really access that, or you can access that down below. Just fill out the questionnaire. It'll take you like a minute to do so, and then I will enter you into the group and you'll be in there to learn how to actually do that. So anyway, let's jump into how you can start to attract your dreams to you, why chasing is just, in my eyes, the wrong strategy and is only going to lead to struggle and strife, and we'll take it from there. So like I mentioned in the intro, chasing something implies that the other thing has to run away. If you're chasing something, then, it implies that the other thing has to be running away. If I'm chasing you, are you standing still? Are you moving towards me? Or are you running away? When you chase your dreams, you're chasing after something, you're moving after something in that way, you automatically cause the thing to start moving away from you when you come from that perspective. This is what causes people to hustle and grind, and it takes so long for things to come in. Now, those things may start to come in, but it won't be your dreams. Because if you have a dream life where you're stress-free, let's say, or for the most part, you know how to handle stress in a way, use the indication of stress to course correct something that will just improve your life, that's very different. But a lot of people go this dream chasing route and are in constant stress, working crazy hours, hustling and grinding until they're unhealthy, until they're sick, until they've ruined most, actual deep relationships in their life. So many other things come out of doing it in that manner. One of my mentors, Peter Sage, says it's the curse of the white rabbit. If you know dog racing, you'll see that they actually use a white rabbit to have the dogs actually run, so they're chasing the white rabbit. Now, the dogs never actually catch the white rabbit, but they will continue to chase and chase and chase and chase and chase until they're tired out. And he says, even if you somehow manage to catch the white rabbit, so let's say you make a certain amount of money, something that's on your, let's call it vision board or in your vision actually comes in, poof, another rabbit comes out, and you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, which of course is going to lead to burnout, struggle, stress. Now again, you can gain some things for doing this. You can see people who are grinding and hustling and getting a lot of things out of it. But if you look, and if that's what they're actually doing, and it's grinding and hustling, they're not doing some other things like taking care of themselves, getting proper rest, doing some of the things we're going to go over today, then I guarantee there's health issues, there's probably relationship issues, there's a lot of problems, a lot of stress in their life. And I would assume your dream life includes how you feel, the energy you're in. Because stress only comes about from low conscious energies. It only comes about from energies, if you know the Hawking scale, that are typically below the level of 200. And so this is the old paradigm in which the way we think we have to do, the things we have to do in order to allow our dreams to come in. But there is another way. It's much more effective, and it can work even much faster when you really tap into it and understand how to use it. And so instead of getting better at chasing, it's learning how to be more attractive. This is where things like the law of attraction and law of balance come into play. And there's a few key components to making this work, but it's actually fairly simple. It is the application of these principles time and time again consistently that will bring the results into your life. But you have to start reframing how life actually works. Because if you don't know how the world works, how life works at a chunked up perspective, from a bigger lens, on a universal scale, then it's going to be very hard for you to do this. Because if you think that life is matter on matter, I have to mold things, I have to bend things that are already in physical existence, that's going to put you in the hustling and grinding mode, working obscene hours that tire you out, and then have kind of the universe giving you kind of signs to get your attention that get louder and louder and louder and louder. Even my mentor who went through this, again, Peter Sage, he said it got so bad that he actually got into a pretty bad car crash, and that was his wake-up call because he was hustling and grinding, and the universe had to keep being louder and louder and louder and louder to show him that this was not the way. And it's just making your life miserable. Despite you making millions of dollars and doing all these other things, you can still do that, but from a much, much different way. And again, that way is to become more attractive. And when you understand how the co-creative process of the universe actually works, you can start to emanate out that frequency. You stop trying to control things that you have no control over, and you work in this co-creative manner that the universe always intended you to work in. It's a cooperative way of working with universal principles and laws. You don't step on the toes of the universe, kind of like micromanaging the universe, because guess what? The universe, source, God, is always going to know how to put what you give it together much more coherently, much more divinely than you ever could. And this is why my mentor also says the how is none of your business. Your job is to give the blueprint, or not the blueprint, I should say, but yes, what it is that you would like to manifest into your life. What are your dreams? What is that vision that you're excited about, to really focus in on that. And then through inspiration, through creating a clear channel within yourself, it'll come through you what actions to take in the physical world. Because you could be grinding and hustling, and it's like being in a dark room trying to find the way out and just working harder. But then there's a candle right next to you that you could light up, but instead you're just feeling around, you're tiring yourself out, and there's just like this tiny maybe crawl space to get out. But if you lit the candle and you allow the way to be illuminated, then it'll take you no time at all. Another great example is, let's say you have a fly and it keeps banging into a window because it sees the way out, but it just keeps banging itself on the window. This is the hustling and grinding mode, just continually doing that. But the window, if it just took a step back, allowed a higher perspective to come in, is actually 3 feet to the left. And when you cooperate with the universe, this is what happens. When you allow the universe to do what it was intended to do, and you get out of your own way, and then you do what was intended for you to do, which is the co-creative process, and then to move from that inspiration, to move from that heart-based place, you'll be able to take a step back, allow the universe to put the puzzle pieces where it's perfect in that moment for them to be placed, that you'll never know how to do. That's not our job. And then you'll see, oh, here's the opening the universe has created for me. There I go, instead of banging on this window time and time again. Now, this is how, in a general sense, this process works. This is how you become more attractive, by tuning into the universe, cooperating with the universe, and then taking that inspired action. Of course, this is a simplistic version of it. If you are interested in learning this at a deeper level, again, go to my Facebook group, The Elite Transformation Experience. If that's something you're actually prioritizing and committed to, right? Again, like if it's something like, oh, I'll dabble in this or whatever, but if you actually want change, if you actually want transformation, I actually have a masterclass in that group that gives you the 5 key components to lasting transformation. It is in depth. And once you get into that group, you can gain access to that. And every Thursday, we also dive deep into these topics. In fact, as of recording this, in a few hours, I'm going to be going into my group and doing a live presentation on ruling reality, how the world actually works, giving the members of my group more awarenesses on what's actually going on, what are these principles, how to apply them, and what they can expect when they do apply them. So we go into way more detail than I can put in however long this video is, 8-10 minutes, might even be less. So that is something you are interested in. If this sounds intriguing to you, if you want to know a better way, just get into that group. It is free to join. But again, make sure this is something you actually want, because I'm going to go into these deep topics, but you have to apply things. You have to commit to things. That's, again, like, don't get it confused. Change isn't going to happen until you commit to change. If you commit to you're committing to something. If you commit to your old story or old patterns or old paradigm, that's what you're going to get more of the same of. But if you commit to a new future and through that make new choices, you're going to get different and new results that are much more preferable, let me tell you. So anyway, that's all I have for you today. Again, the hustling, grinding mode, you can go in that route. You will get some things, but I can almost promise you, and you can look at 1,000,001 examples of this, you're gonna get burned out. It's not gonna lead to a fulfilling life. But there is another way. It's called the through me way, where you have life work through you. You cooperate with these principles and laws, and then you create from that place. And not only does that beautify your life in the ways that you actually truly want, but it's also enjoyable to do it, to move from inspired action. Anyway, that's enough for now. Again, if you want to learn more, link down below is the group. You just have to fill out a few questions to get in, and then you will get the replay of the video I'm going to do today for my group if you don't get in time, which you won't, because I don't know if this will be released on the same day. So you can get that along with the masterclass and everything else. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning into this one. Remember, you are loved. We live in a friendly universe, and I'll see you in the next video.